What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns with the latest addition to the new Bordeaux Tribune, courtesy of the official Mafia Twitter and Facebook pages. And if you want to check out previous installments of the new Bordeaux Tribune, along with the brochure, postcards, Lincoln Clay case files, and of course the trailer breakdowns for Mafia 3, all of which can be found over here in my Mafia playlist, and also the backstory videos for Vito and Lincoln Clay. Speaking of backstory videos, coming up tomorrow, yes, the third installment of my Mafia 3 backstory series, we're going to be covering Uncle Sal Marcano, a very nice guy, very friendly, a community type person, local political activist, and he's kind of sort of the main antagonist of Mafia 3. So we'll be talking about him tomorrow in the latest edition of my Mafia 3 backstory series. All right, so let's get into this article, shall we? E1 from the New Bordeaux Tribune. Now, I don't know what volume this one is from, because the latest volume that we got mentioned by official Mafia Facebook and Twitter pages is volume 8302, which was dated Thursday, June 8th. So if we go by this volume, the article E1 cannot be in this volume. Why, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked, because of the date issue here. Okay, so we look at this Big Mouth Jazz and Blues advertisement. This advert over on the left side, it says Show and Dance Live Jazz. Wednesday, May 29th, June 6th, 2 days prior to that volume I just mentioned, live show at 9 p.m. All right, so whenever you're, doing advertising for a business in the radio, TV, or newspaper, for example, and you want people to come to your show, you don't put it in the newspaper 2 days later. So obviously it has to be in a different volume, or else the New Bordeaux Tribune just completely ripped off the Big Mouth Jazz and Blues by putting it in that other volume 2 days later, which wouldn't really surprise me. All right, so let's get into this article over here. Delray Hollow loses local landmark, gains a strip club. Okay, so I believe, now I'm not always right about this, is that this is Hollow. So I'm just assuming that says Delray Hollow. That's just my 2 cents. Delray Hollow. The Hollow has been hit by hard times. Barron Saturday's Fun Park quickly shut its doors a few years back. Hurricane Barbara tore through the district, flooding out residents and permanently shutting down Moray Airport. Now, that is what Mr. Collins 7007 posted on my Delray Hollow brochure video I did about 2 weeks ago. He believes it's pronounced Moray, not Marius. So we'll just go with Moray Airport, or Maury Airport. Anyways, now the residents lose one or more of the few gathering places left for the community. Perla's closed its doors at the end of last month. The news hits especially close to home for the locals, as it was a tribute to Perla and something orphans. She was married to Sammy Robinson, who recently died under mysterious circumstances, along with his son Ellis. Okay, so obviously this ties into the main story of Mafia 3. Sammy Robinson, the husband of the late Perla Robinson, he's also the owner of Sammy's, father of Ellis, and adoptive father of Lincoln Clay. Now, most of us know from the trailers what's happened to Sammy and Ellis. He's the leader of the Black Mob, and he was betrayed by Sal Marcano, leader of the Italian mob in New Bordeaux. They were murdered, and Sammy's was burned to the ground, while Lincoln Clay was left for dead, only to be rescued by Father James. So I find it interesting that it was mysterious. For one thing, they were shot. Another thing, they were burned to death. So how can you call it mysterious? I guess that just shows you the influence that Sal Marcano has over newspapers and, of course, the NBPD. Anyways, continuing, efforts to investigate the new owners of what was Perla's were met with resistance and dead ends in City Hall. The only leads to work off right now is a name, Doucette, and the promise that it will be the something and centerpiece for the community. Locals are concerned, quote unquote, the last thing this town needs is yet another strip club, said Father James Ballard, which is, of course, Father James that I just mentioned, an important character in Mafia 3 who rescued Lincoln Clay from being killed at Sammy's as it burned to the ground. Quote unquote, you see, even though it was a jazz bar, Perla Robinson set up an office above it to help others in the neighborhood. I have a lot of respect for what they did for the community. So by tearing down the memories, but to families continuing to, and unfortunately the rest of the article gets cut off at the very end. So we see some key characters, a little bit of backstory, how Perla Robinson, the late wife of Sammy Robinson, had this theater, which eventually, when she passed away, it was changed to Perla Robinson Memorial Theater. And unfortunately, with her passing, and of course with Sammy and Ellis's mysterious passing, I mean, being shot and having your body burned alive, I mean, obviously they weren't still alive, but being burned, you know, that's mysterious. It was just an accident. Damn, oh, what the hell? How'd that happen? Anyways, so now the Memorial Theater, named after Perla Robinson, is to be turned into a strip club. And of course, Father James is not too thrilled about that. So there you have it, section E1 of the New Bordeaux Tribune. We covered what's going to happen to the Perla Robinson Memorial Theater, as well as whoever the mysterious new owners are. It could be Sal Marcano, it could be somebody else entirely. And of course, the advert over here to the left regarding Big Mouth Jazz and Blues. So feel free, chime below in the comment section your thoughts regarding this eye-opening article from the New Bordeaux Tribune. And there was a lot of very important information. We learned about Perla Robinson. We learned about the Robinson Memorial Theater. We learned a little bit more about Father James and his stance regarding having a jazz club as opposed to a strip club in Delray Hollow. And don't forget, Mafia 3 is coming October 7th to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.